In Avatar: The Last Airbender, the ability to bend lightning is an extremely rare and coveted firebending technique that only members of the Fire Nation royal family really possess. We see the likes of Azula, Ozai and Iroh having no trouble with it, but outside of them it is almost never seen. So why is this? Why are there so many lightning benders in the Legend of Korra, to the point where even small-time street mobsters can use it? Well, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. So the first major reason for lightning bending being so rare during the time of Aang and then very common during Korra's time is the Fire Nation royal family's forbidden knowledge. We know from many canon sources that the Fire Nation royal family going back many hundreds of years were extremely secretive about their knowledge and power. They likely had huge vaults of ancient bending artifacts, tomes of lost knowledge and scrolls on how to perform highly complex firebending techniques. They took this secrecy so far that when choosing partners for the prince or princess of the family, they would specifically look for people who were extremely strong benders in order to keep the royal bloodline powerful. Now, as for how this changed by the time of Korra, that is most likely because after Ozai's defeat and the rise of Zuko, a lot of that knowledge was probably unlocked and given to the world. Zuko and Aang may have viewed unlocking this lost knowledge of the Fire Nation as a way to begin to say sorry to the world for beginning the war. Lightning, being known as cold-blooded fire, was very likely one of the advanced techniques hidden within these archives and then set free by Zuko at the start of his reign. After that, it likely spread extremely quickly among the firebenders of the world, as it was immensely useful, as we saw in Korra. An example of this can even be seen within the Earth Kingdom, where not long after Toph began a metal-bending school after the war, knowledge of the technique spread far and wide, becoming extremely common among the Earth Kingdom. The same thing probably happened once Zuko released the Fire Nation archives. And a slightly darker side to this is that the Fire Nation probably had stolen air nomad relics and artifacts from the slaughter of the air nomad people at the start of the war. These were probably also released alongside the Fire Nation's lost knowledge, and is probably what allowed Zahir to gain such a knowledge of the air nomad culture and teachings. We all know what that led to. If you look at most of the firebenders in the Legend of Korra, you'll probably notice that most of them can generate fire much faster than anyone in the time of Aang could. Despite this, in The Last Airbender, firebenders could make huge gashes in stone with their bending, but benders like Mako in Korra could barely even hurt Aman with a massive firebolt. This tells us that with the new knowledge spread by Zuko after the releasing of the lost Fire Nation knowledge, almost anyone could access these advanced techniques, despite probably not being skilled enough to use them. The lack of power in the firebenders of Korra's time could probably also be explained by the large lack of spirituality seen in their everyday lives. Bending fire and lightning has become so commonplace that nobody associates it with an ancient art passed down through the generations. They instead view bending as a crude utility that can help make their everyday lives easier, certainly a long way away from the time of Aang. The other major reason that lightning bending became so much more common was probably because of the increasing ease of travel. Uncle Iroh learned lightning redirection from studying the waterbenders, so with so much more interaction between the four nations, especially in Republic City, it would be far easier to pick up and learn new techniques inspired by other cultures. On top of this, because travel became so much easier, you didn't have to travel halfway across the world to find a master. You could easily have someone proficient in lightning bending pass down the technique in a very quick and practical manner within your city. And the one final possible reason is simply the advance in science in the Avatar world. As time went on, lightning bending may have been transitioned from being taught as a mystical and dangerous cold-blooded fire to something as simple as useful electricity. Once they learned how it worked and started putting it into machines, it was no longer the scary and dangerous forbidden magic. But that is why firebending was so common in Korra. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.